It was on time. It was on the spot. So we don't really care what people say right now. You know, we sit. We know we got work to do as an offense, and we're gonna get better. So that's all we can do right now.
Thomas has his quarterback's back. So does Ronnie Hillman, also defending Peyton, saying you need to get off Peyton. That's our quarterback. Bottom line, you fake fans don't say anything when he is winning us the game. Shaking my head. The Browns stay perfect regardless of number 18's 2 TDs to 7 interceptions in his last 3 games. Hillman and Thomas both had 111 yards in each, obviously, defending their quarterback there. Skip, what's your reaction?
Last night I was ticked off for Peyton's sake because I think his teammates and his coach are handling the defense of Peyton all wrong. He does not need defending. He didn't need defending yesterday. All he did at Cleveland against a pretty good Browns defense, pretty well coached, was he threw for almost 300 yards. He threw a clutch 75-yard touchdown pass to Emmanuel Sanders, who then subsequently got hurt, and then they won the game in overtime without Emmanuel Sanders. Pretty impressive, I would have to say. And we saw Demarius speak on camera there. Demarius hurt Peyton with 2 big late drops in that game. So, look, is Peyton what he used to be for fantasy football players? I think this is a fantasy overreaction. Like, you look at, 7 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. He had 1 bad luck interception yesterday, and then he tried to get one up over Mingo, who can jump through the gym, through the roof of the gym, and he got that one intercepted. So, he's, as he said after the game, he's had some bad breaks. All I know is the only number that counts, and it's not a fantasy football number, is 6-0. They are 6-0, are the Denver Broncos, with Peyton Manning at quarterback, with a new coordinator and a new system in Gary Kubiak, the new head coach. And the more Kubiak talks, the more I hear, well, I'm sure you would want to have a few of those throws back. Just stop it. You don't need to say that. The more you talk, the worse it sounds. It sounds like you're really not defending him. It sounds like you're starting to, between the lines, criticize him. And obviously, Kubiak and Peyton have clashed all year. And I got to say one thing about Ronnie Hillman, and I don't know this for a fact. It appears he's another Twitter victim, just like other people that I occasionally know. It appears that way because I think he's responding to what he's read on Twitter about Peyton Manning. So he says, all you people who are criticizing him are fake fans. Really? Fake fans? Well, how do you know that? Well, it's because you're reading what the idiots are saying on Twitter about Peyton Manning. He's just fine. They got a bye week now. They're going to be just fine. They're going to make a big run. I think they're going to run away with their division the way it looks right now. And what's the problem here? What needs defending? I don't know.
Well, Skip Bayless, I agree with you that the players themselves are not doing Peyton Manning any favors by coming to his defense because they're bringing more attention to it. And he's not that kind of guy, so you don't want to do that because you don't want to contribute to his level of discomfort. That point I will give you. But how dare you sit up here and say there's nothing to be concerned about? Are you not watching this team?
No, I haven't watched a play yet. What's happening?
You watch everything. So it's a rhetorical question. Don't get smart. Listen to my point before you respond. Here's the deal. Peyton Manning has 7 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. You are the master of QBR. Nobody leans on You lean on QBRs more than folks lean on the other side of the pillow, for crying out loud. Tribute to my man, the late, great Stuart Scott. You sit up there and talk about QBR religiously. Do you know that Peyton Manning has never, ever, ever had a QBR of lower than 72.9 until this year? His QBR is 46. 46. And when you look at that, yes, I don't want to hear from Ronnie Hillman, even though he's averaging about 5 yards a carry. They've got the 30th ranked rushing attack in all of the NFL. I don't want to hear from him. I don't want to hear from an offense that's ranked 14th. I don't want to hear from a passing game that's ranked 18th. I happen to believe the biggest problem is Kubiak and the adjustments that Peyton Manning has to deal with his new coach, and what John Elway wants his new coach to implement, more so than it being Peyton Manning himself. But let's not sit up there and throw the cloud, throw the cover over our eyes. There is something to be concerned about here, because this defense with 26 sacks, a team record after 6 games, getting after the quarterback the way that they do. This secondary with Harris and Aqib Talib had another 63-yard interception, return for a touchdown yesterday. I mean, when you look at this secondary, combined with Von Miller and the crew and the way they get pressure on a quarterback, the way this defense is playing, I would dare say this year, more so than any other year since 2006, when Peyton Manning needed to win that Super Bowl, and that Super Bowl really occurred against New England in that AFC Championship game, one of the rare moments when he beat Tom Brady. Outside of 2006, Peyton Manning has never been under more pressure to win a Super Bowl championship the way that he is now because of the way this defense looks. See, back in the past, he's doing what he's doing. Yeah, maybe it was 56, 55 touchdowns. There was 39 touchdowns last year, whatever the game. Peyton's going to be Peyton. Somebody else has got to get up and help him. Yeah, he might not have won the big game enough. Yeah, he might not win key payoff games sometimes. But you look at Peyton Manning, and by and large, you still see greatness. You're just wondering if this, whether or not it's going to disappear in a particular game. This is the regular season, and this is happening week after week after week where he does not appear to be himself. Again, I put more of the onus on Kubiak more so than anybody else right now. I got that. But the flip side is this defense is big time. Yep. This defense is championship contending style defense. And if Peyton Manning was doing what we're accustomed to seeing Peyton Manning doing, we would dare say the Denver Broncos, based on the way their defense looks, could be the favorites. If the Denver Broncos, the way they're playing, if they continue to play this way, if they continue to look this way and they don't win the Super Bowl, it will be because of Peyton Manning. And that's not something we could say in recent memory. But we'll be able to say this now if this offense continues to play this way and the defense continues to play this way. Because this defense looks big time. The offense, however, not so much.
Who won the game against their arch rival at Arrowhead Stadium on, was it a Thursday night, if memory serves?
It was Peyton Manning.
I believe it was Peyton Manning. Was he not clutch down the stretch of that game? I thought he was sensational.
Whoa. Don't change the subject. I'm asking you. I'm telling you. I'm talking about what I'm asking you.
Yeah.
Don't avoid my question. I'm asking you, if Peyton Manning continues to look the way that he has looked for the vast majority of this regular season, are you trying to tell me there isn't even more pressure on him now than ever since 2006? He's never had a defense like this, Skip. He's never had a defense like this since 2006. You realize
until yesterday he had 0 running game, just nothing. They were getting like 6 yards a game.
Really? I agree. But what I'm saying is, because the defense is making plays and doing what it's doing, you and I both know that Peyton Manning is going to be called upon more than any other time in recent memory to deliver a Super Bowl because of the way this defense is looking.
Well, I don't think no more than any other year before.
Really?
Why?
Because
I mean, it's been the best offense in pro football.
But that's my point. Because it was the best offense in football, we looked at him and expected more of the same, but we're looking at the defense and we saw holes. Well, this year, we're seeing a defense that
was when the pressure was, it was Peyton or bust. This isn't Peyton or bust. You can lean on the defense. You can game manage a little bit more. You don't need to be throwing 3 interceptions. Obviously, that was not good.
But that's what I mean. I'm saying to you, the defense playing the way that it's playing, if Peyton Manning ain't getting things done, they've got no chance. They can win games, but they ain't going to win a Super Bowl with the offense playing like this. Now, that may not be entirely his fault, but you're thinking, if this is Peyton Manning we're talking about here, I got a defense like this and I still can't win the big game, that's going to be a problem.
But wait a second, they're 6-0. If you told me they're 3-3, I'd be getting you. I'd say, boy, Peyton's the weak link here. He's not the weak link.
Do we not listen? Let's stop apologizing for this and let's stop acting like we don't know. When it comes to the great ones, they're measured by what happens in the postseason. We look at Cincinnati, we don't care what they're doing in the regular season
because they have in the postseason.
We don't worry about Cincinnati now because we expect them to be in the postseason. The question is, what are they going to do? With Denver, because you have Peyton Manning and you've got this defense, people are looking at them and saying, excuse me, this might be his last shot and his best shot in recent memory of actually capturing a Super Bowl. Because even when the offense was prolific and Peyton Manning was throwing touchdowns all over the place, you still looked at their defense and thought it was somewhat suspect. That's not the case this year.
If you're asking me if I think at age 39 Peyton is capable of winning a Super Bowl for this team, absolutely he is.
So do I. But I'm saying to you, with this defense looking the way that it's looking, he'd better do it. Because guess what? If this defense continues to play this way, we're going to look at Peyton Manning even more harshly than we did in the past. Because in the past, you had a suspect defense. You don't right now. They are playing lights out. Peyton Manning doesn't even have to be Peyton Manning.
We've always looked at him harshly. His playoff record,
Skip,
I'm pretty sure it's sub 500.
Excuse me. Don't say we. You are the one that called him the greatest regular season quarterback we've ever seen. But come postseason time, he's a shell of himself. Nobody has judged him harsher than you.
Okay, so what's your point? I don't get what your point is. I mean, I can't look at him any more harshly than I have. His playoff record is below 500. That's all you need to know. So why would there be more pressure on him now? I think there's less pressure on him now.
Because in the past, he didn't have a defense like he has now. How many times I got to say that?
But you're saying that he doesn't have a running game or the line or the different change with the coaching staff as well. Listen, and you're saying he has the defense.
He has the defense. He has the defense. This is it right here. You can't be a quarterback in a better position than Peyton Manning is right now.
Do you think after the bye they should go with Osweiler? Well, seriously, that's where we're heading.
Okay, no problem.
He does have the defense, but the line's a little suspect, and the running game has been slow, and obviously a coaching change there as well. Shane Ray, their first-round draft pick, was injured. He'll undergo an MRI today on his knee, and Skip alluded to Emmanuel Sanders there with the shoulder. The Packers also dealing with some injuries, but they're able to hold off the Chargers. They have a late push in Lambeau, so should Green Bay be pleased with their performance? Don't miss that debate next. Both teams actually on byes this week.